All right. So they've announced themselves by themselves with a very wonderful, thunderous, that's a round of applause. But these are wonderful audience from the Methodist University College, Ghana. They emphasize that I should add the Ghana to it. Amazing audience. Thank you so much. Thank you for making time to be here. And they are our guests for tonight's Time with the Captains, and they've been amazing so far. And as I said early on, our captain for this month, the month of March, has cut the teeth for himself when it comes to industry. And that's why we have him here today. Let's take a brief profile of our captain for the month of March. Andrew Kwabena Asamoah is the founder and the chief executive chairman of A&C Development Company Limited. He's a barrister at law and a former director of the World Health Organization. Upon his return to Ghana in 2002, he conceived and built the first shopping mall in Ghana, known as the A&C Mall. Since then, A&C Development Company Limited has become a fast-growing real estate and construction company, building and managing properties in many parts of the capital city, with its flagship being the A&C Mall. Mr. Asamoah had a fruitful career with the World Health Organization, which took him to several countries and regions of the world. His hard work at the WHO saw him rise through the ranks into various positions, including Chief of Personnel, Special Advisor to the Director General of the WHO on Constitutional Matters, Director, Career Development Division, and Global Security Coordinator at WHO headquarters in Geneva. He has also served as a Director of Administration and Finance at the WHO Regional Office for Europe in Copenhagen. Mr. Asamoah also served inter alia as the Chairman of the Surveillance Committee of the WHO Staff Health Insurance, Chairman of the WHO Pension Committee, and the WHO Director General's representative to the United Nations Joint Staff Pension Fund. He also represented the WHO in various committees of the United Nations, as well as the WHO Health Assembly and Executive Board. Mr. Asamoah has postgraduate qualifications in public administration, human resources development, public relations, and journalism. He has written extensive publications and reviews on a wide range of management, administrative, and legal issues. He is also a member of several professional associations and societies, including the Ghana-Nigeria Bar Associations, the American Society of International Law, the British Institute of Comparative Law, the Fellow of the Royal Society of Arts of the United Kingdom. Since returning to Ghana, he served and continues to serve a number of national and international bodies, as well as non-governmental organizations. Some of the boards he represents includes President du Conseil Institute Pasteur, that's in Senegal, President, Ghana Association of Former International Civil Servants, and many, many, many more. And honestly, ladies and gentlemen, it's a 12-page curriculum vitae I'm supposed to summarize, and I cannot do that. So please, let's put our hands together for Andrew Kwabena Asamoah, the founder and chief executive chairman of A&C Development Company Limited. Sir, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And for agreeing to be our captain for the month of March.
Thank you.
It's good to have you.
Thank you.
Anytime I walk into A&C Mall, I see something new. What's the whole strategy about that?
The strategy about A&C Mall is that you must always improve. You must always continue to improve. You don't want to go to a place and you say, oh, when I came here 10 years ago, when they opened it, it was so nice. I want you to come to A&C and say, but A&C is better than the last time I was here. So we are always striving because we are serving the community. And you have to make the tenants, the people coming there happy. So we always try to do our best to serve the community.
I was resisting the temptation of summarizing your CV, but I did that. I hope I did that very well, didn't I? Thank you. But is there anything I left out that is about Mr. Asamoah that people out there need to know?
No. I think in a summary, you did well, and that's really. For me, it's so nice to see these young people, and I look at them and I can see that people who are smart and people who really want to make it, I can see it in their faces.
Absolutely, please. Wonderful. Thank you so much. These are students of Methodist University College, Ghana. Amazing. And these days, proper mentoring is very hard to come by. People are not available to share their stories, their mistakes, you know, their honest ways of making the money. You know, and sometimes like young people struggle to you know, come to terms with how successful people got to where they are. Now, for you, when I was reading your CV, at age 26, you built your first house. I really was hoping that was going to be part of my profile, but it didn't happen. Tell me a bit about how you began and how at age 26 you built your first house those days. I mean, now you can go in for a mortgage, so it's pretty easy. But gone were the days when it wasn't there. Tell me about it.
Okay. I had a very difficult childhood in the sense that I only stayed with my father. And my father was an only child, so I didn't have uncles and things. And unfortunately, my father used to have a fleet of vehicles. And somehow they all went into accident. And for a time, my father was in the hospital for about 3-4 years.
Wow.
So I have to fend for myself. So I started, there was a toffee called a black and white. Yeah. I used to go, and when there's a football, I go and sell it. When those days there were these political parties. So when there's any political party, I'll go there and sell my black and white.
All of you know the black and white toffee. Yes. You do. Alewa.
Alewa.
It was a refined form of Alewa. Alewa was just some
the black and white was coming. It was the real thing. Yeah. And then later on, there was a man who sells records, Ambassador Records in Kumasi. And the records which they couldn't sell, I used to go, they give it to me. In those days, they give it to me 1 shilling.
1 shilling.
Then I would go to the market, to the station, the lorry station, and sell them sometimes 2 shillings, sometimes 3 shillings, and that's how I survived. Then when I was young, we always were in a rented accommodation. So one thing I did is when I get the opportunity, the first thing I would do would be to build a house for my father. And that's why I was very lucky. I joined the UN when I was just 22.
22?
In those days, they have this office in Congo, Brazzaville, and they needed to have some English-speaking staff because it was all French-speaking.
Right.
So they needed clerks and assistants. So I went to the UN as an assistant. I didn't go there as a professional.
As an assistant?
As an assistant. And I worked my way from an assistant to become director and a special advisor to the director general.
Amazing. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, please, a round of applause for... This is wonderful. But how did that United Nations opportunity come to you, I mean, at age 22?
Okay, at that time, I was working at the Cape Coast University.
Right.
I was the assistant to the, now you call it the vice chancellor.
Okay.
At that time, we say the principal.
Right.
The principal, strangely enough, at that time was an Egyptian.
Ooh.
He was related to Kwame Nkrumah's
wife. I see.
So I was the assistant. So it was at that time that the United Nations, the World Health Organization, did an advert that they wanted young people, accounts clerks, this and this to come. So I applied. We went for an interview and I was selected. So when I went to the Congo, I was 22.
How was it for you achieving that objective of building a house for your father at age 26? How did you plan towards it and the execution process? You know, because it's one thing having a resolution, another thing achieving what you say you want to do.
So when I went, as I said, I went there at 22. And for the first time, a young man, I was being paid in dollars. So I spoke to my father. And every month I get my salary. I will send 3/4 of it to my father. He got a plot and he started building. Wow. When I came back to Ghana when I was 26, he had built a 4-flat and a boys' quarters for me at Kumasi.
Fantastic. Wow, so that's lesson 1. Please send your salaries to your father if your father is alive. But
But I must say I was very lucky. If you send your salary to a brother or father, some of them, they will squander it. So I was very lucky to get a father who was very serious. And he was poor, so he knew that I was doing my best for him. So he also helped.
What's that one word that you'd say guided you on your rise to the top?
One word which guided me was I had an ambition that wherever I go, I have to work hard to reach the top.
Hard work.
And my father told me that hard work will never kill me. Hard work will never kill you.
Fantastic. Hard work never kills.
And when I went to the UN at the age of 22, I was not a lawyer. It was when I was in the UN that I did my law, that I went to the bar.
Amazing. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to come to you now and take the first 5 questions, and then we'll come back and also engage with our guests. But if you just joined us, this is Time with the Captains for the month of March. Our captain for this month, Andrew Kwabena Samoa, is the founder and chief executive, in fact, executive chairman of A&C Development Company Limited, owners of A&C Mall, the first mall in Ghana. You put up your hand, I'll call you, the microphone will come to you, and please go straight to the point. And as I said, your questions must be very brief. Yes. The microphone, please. Okay. So, yes, you can go ahead. You have a question? Okay. Right. Thank you. Please mention your name and...
I'm Ivan Samiye. I must say I'm impressed. Indeed, I'm very motivated. But my question is, in our part of the world, if I want to be precise, Ghana, especially where you are at a very tender age, 22, you travel, you leave your family members, your friends to another country, and you are able to, keep your focus. I mean, apart from you being a hard worker, what else motivated you? Because most often we get to, different environment and we are not able to,
right.
Make it. So what motivated you apart from being
hard working? Okay, thank you. Next, please, a lady.
Okay, I'm Messi Edumwa, and I want to ask, how was your Christian life at that time?
Okay.
Your Christian life.
Okay, thank you, Messi. Okay, so we'll take the answers to the first 2 questions.
Okay.
Mr. Samoa.
Now, the motivation was because, when you are down, when you face obstacles when you are young, and you make up your mind that this is what I want to do. In actual fact, when I went to the Congo, I went there because at that time, I've got admission to Columbia University. So I thought I'll go and work for some time and go to Columbia. Then when I reached there, I realized that I could work and study at the same time. So it was when I was there, I did my first course with Wisconsin University and got this and then. So that's how, so I was focused. I knew that I've gone in at the bottom. So I need to work hard to move to the very top. There were people I went with who went with me as an assistant, and they retired as assistants. So it depends on how motivated you are and what you want to achieve in life. On the issue of the Christian life, I have always believed in God. I have always believed that God is there, and you have to go to church, you have to pray to God. But I don't also believe that I should spend all my time praying. I don't believe that I should spend every day going to the church. God wants me to work hard, and after I work hard, I go and thank Him. Knowledge will not come to you because you go to a pastor. Knowledge will come to you because you study very hard, and then you pray to God, that knowledge should stay and when you do your exam. So I believe in God, but I don't believe that I should spend Saturdays, Monday, Tuesday going to church. I don't believe that. So this
fantastic. Amazing point there. Great. You say God only maximizes what you have. You know, so when you go into an exam hall, you haven't learned anything, you put your hand on the paper that, you know, things doesn't happen like that. But let's I saw a hand somewhere there. Please. There's a microphone there. All right. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Charles Inheke, and the part of his CV that's caught my attention is the part that reads that he worked in Congo Brazzaville, and I suspect until he traveled from Ghana to Congo Brazzaville, he only knew how to speak English and perhaps the local language in Ghana. What was it like working with people who had an entire different language? Working with the UN would mean that you must associate yourself with French-speaking people. And then, you know, it could cause a little bit of a problem if particularly the people who you work with do not speak the language that you speak. Okay. So what was work like in the UN, having to speak English and work with French-speaking people?
So the language, the culture.
Yes, I mean, the office is an international office, so you have people from all over the world serving there. But at the end of the day, if you go to the market, you have to speak French. If you go to the restaurant, you have to speak French. So there was a school at the workplace where every morning you go for language studies. And what I've noticed is when you are in a country where the language is being spoken, it's easy to learn. Because whatever you learn in class, you go immediately and you start putting it into practice. So from that angle, you were forced. I mean, you go to a restaurant, you want to eat. You have to find a way to say you want to eat. So the language came. You know, so within 1 year, one could speak fluently the French, and life was quite good in those days.
Out of necessity, you've got to make it happen. Okay, yes. Okay, please, you have the microphone.
I'm Gibson, Dokuboye Jr. Sir, you said there was opening for UN that gave you the opportunity then. But today we find out that traveling outside Africa is becoming difficult based on some people that takes advantage of it, see it as an opportunity for them to fraud we young people that wants to go outside for greener pastures. So looking at it today, what would be your advice or your word for those of us that thinks or intends to go outside for greener pastures, even within the challenges of fraudulent activities or fraudulent people around? Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. What I will advise you, for example, in my case, I did not go. I got the opportunity and I went. But my advice to you, as you are completing your tertiary education, first look inwards. See what you can do. And with time, if your destiny is to go outside, you go outside. I don't want you, after you have finished university, then you are going to walk through the desert to go to Libya and all that. There are difficulties, but I think there are also opportunities in this country. So try first and foremost to see what you can do. There are so many things you can do. Don't think that because you've gone to the university, you have to go and work in the bank. No. I know a young man who went to the university. He came out and he was finding it difficult to find a job. He has a brother in America. He wrote to the brother and he got him an old machine, cleaning machine for clothes.
Right.
So this young man decided he couldn't open, so he had it in the house. So he sent flyers to people that if your clothes are dirty, he will come to the house, collect it, go and wash it and deliver it. He bought a second-hand car. When he's not delivering, he was using it as Uber. So there are so many opportunities, but don't think because you've gone to the university, you have to work in the bank or you have to put on a collar. Just look at the opportunities around you and try to do something. Don't think that you must go out before you make it. You can make it here. If you have to go out at a point, you will go. But please, don't make it as your first thing is, I finish school, I want to go out. You go through a lot of problems. You've seen what people are going through, dying in the desert, dying in the waters. Please, I don't want you to go through that. So take your time.
Please, thank you. Thank you. It's amazing that you're already thinking of leaving the country whilst you're in the university. But you know what? You're not alone. In fact, a research has shown that about 75% of Ghanaians, if given the opportunity, will travel. So you're not alone. I just want you to know. But yes, you have the microphone, please. Yes, a lady. Right, please. No, you ask.
Okay. Please, my name is Pretty Ebierite Aibatoyi.
No, if you repeat the thing again, I'll be glad. Pretty. Let's
Yes.
go with Pretty.
Okay.
Yes, Pretty.
Yeah, please, I want to ask, when you got the opportunity and then you took it home to your friends and their family, I'm sure some of them would discourage you. They'll be like, it's a scam or something. But how did you overcome it when they talk about negative things about the opportunity that you had?
Okay, Pretty.
You
Yes.
know, in this world, what is very important that you as an individual, you should know where you are going. You should have a vision. And once you know you have a vision, and once you know you are honest and everything you are doing is above the board, don't listen to what people will say. People will say all sorts of things. But when within you, you know you are doing the right thing, you know you have a vision, you know where you were going, now you'll be surprised. Why is it that I built my first house at 26, I went to work with the UN for 30 years, and I came back and I went into real estate. This is a vision I had, but I never had the opportunity at the beginning.
Right.
But I came back to it because this is something which I knew I wanted to do. So you will not be able to do what you want to do today. But any opportunity you have, take that opportunity, but you know in your mind that at the end of the day, this is where I want to go. But don't think as soon as you finish, oh, I want to do a businessman, then you become a businessman. No. Sometimes you'll be a messenger, you'll be a laborer, you'll be every other thing, but you know that one day I want to do this, and God will give it to you.
Amazing. Amazing. So keep your eye on the prize, the objective, be focused, have a vision, hard work, financial discipline. I hope you're writing these things down. Right on. Okay.
Please, I'm Curtis. Please, how was the experience when you built your first house at age 26?
Okay, Curtis.
What was the experience?
Yes.
Oh no, I was elated. It was, having stayed in rented homes with my father. Sometimes we are moved out because my father had not paid the rent and all that. And you reach a stage that you can put your father in a house you have built. For me, it was really something very elating for me.
We're going to be getting into how he started, after returning to Ghana after 30 years working in the United Nations, how you started the A&C Development Company Limited, and the challenges you faced, and going about it. Now A&C is a household name. Andrew Kwabena Asamoah is the founder and executive chairman of A&C Development Company Limited. He is our captain for the month of March. We'll be back shortly after this break with a wonderful audience from the Methodist University College, Ghana. Round of applause for yourselves. Wow. Amazing. All right. Welcome back from that quick one. Time to the captains here on TV3. Andrew Kwabena Asamoah is the founder and executive chairman of A&C Development Company Limited. Our audience for today, Methodist University College, Ghana students. Before I went for that break, yeah, I know you like to clap, and I like that. Since you came back, your focus has been achieving that dream you had to start your own business. How easy or difficult was it for you starting a business when you returned to Ghana?
It was very difficult because building a shopping mall is not like building a house. You need millions to be able to do that. And when I came, I had my plan, and I built my business plan, and I went to the bank. And the bank said, look, you have been working as an international civil servant all these years. If you have come, the money you have, give it to us. We'll put it in a fixed deposit. You'll make some money. Why are you going to this business? You say you want to build a shopping mall. Have you seen a shopping mall in Ghana? Here, our shopping mall is Makola. I said, no, I think this thing will work. I mean, I've gone to other African countries, and they have it, countries which are even smaller than here. But the banks did not think we could make it because they've not seen a shopping mall working. So they were not sure whether it will work or not.
They need a reference point, something to convince them.
The only alternative I had was to sell the properties I have acquired outside the country.
Wow.
I had a house in London, a house in Geneva. I sold those ones to start A&C Mall.
Because no financial institution
because no bank was prepared
willing
to give
you a loan.
No.
Wow. This is amazing. You know, so it's always the case where, you know, these days, a lot of them are quite open to, but you still face difficulties in getting these credits for.
No, now any money I want, they'll give me.
They'll give you because now you have A&C, obviously.
Any money I want, they'll give me. But when I started, they won't give me anything
to look out for.
You know, so I have to struggle, and then I started, and luckily, my bank in Geneva helped me.
Right.
They gave me an overdraft of about $500,000, and with what I put together. So what I decided was, okay, then I'm going to do it in phases. Okay. I had the whole plan, but I could not be able to execute it. So I decided I'll make it, so I broke it into about 4 phases. So I concentrated on the first phase, which was retail outlet. Right. So when I got it, then I got the supermarket and the people to come in. Then from there, I moved to the next phase, which is the shopping, the fitness center, the swimming pool, and so gradually, so it took me 12 years. The A&C you see today, it has taken me 12 years to reach there.
Wow.
I couldn't reach there from the very beginning.
And this was a dream you conceived many, many years ago. You know, the principle still runs through, even though it was many years ago, you faced the difficulty of banks not willing to advance you credit. Young people who want to start their own businesses still face this problem of, you know, not having financial institutions support them. What is that advice to the young people who are watching us on television, who are here at the moment and have plans, they have dreams, they have businesses on paper, but they don't have the means of financing?
My advice is go slowly. Do it bit by bit. I mean, you have a whole plan. You have to start somewhere. Because one, even if the banks are prepared to give you the money, the interest rates are too high. So if you go in for too much loan, you'll be drowned in the loan. So it's better you plan it in phases and you do it gradually. But they have the Ghana ventures, capital ventures. We have the Maslock. All these, they can give you small loans. But what we need in Ghana is to have individual venture capitalists. That's why outside, all these people who have become billionaires, they didn't have the money.
Right.
You know, Facebook and all these, they didn't have the money. But once you have the idea, you put it in the market, and people who have money and believe in the idea, they will put money in. And then when you succeed, I mean, people who put 100,000 in Facebook now have almost 500 million. People who put 10,000 in Apple now have 200 million. So this is how it goes. Only that we have not yet developed that system whereby individuals, a young person comes. But you know, when you want to do business, there are so many other ways. You can ask family, to help with you something. You can even ask friends. I mean, UT Bank, when they wanted to start, what did he do? He called about 10 of his friends. They said, each one of you give me 10,000, 10,000. Right. I will start, and I assure you that this 10,000 you're giving me, every month I'll pay back so much. That's how he started. Absolutely. Alibaba in China, one of the biggest districts, that's what he did. He didn't have the money. He called some friends, took money from them, and put it together. So it's not only the bank. There are so many other ways. I mean, you see somebody who has done it. If you have a good project, you go to the person and you show him. If he sees some merit, he will advance you a bit of money to start. The only thing is that be modest, start on a small scale, and grow.
Thank you. In theory terms, we call it angel investors, right? So, Seth, I think that please go straight to the point, no preambles. Yes, the lady, right there. Oh, okay, you go ahead.
My name is Eric. Hello, yeah. My name is Eric Kwame Ison. And my question is, I want to know, as we young men like this, if we want to start a business, is it advisable for us to go for a loan?
Okay. I think that was answered, but yes, next.
Yeah, please. My name is Moses Chidozie. My question is, we always hear this, do things differently. So that's the only way you will succeed in business. I want to know whether your idea is based on your experience outside. Because you said you had a vision before you traveled. Okay. So my question is it that when you traveled, that's when you had the idea of building the first shopping mall?
Okay, let's say that I like real estate. That's why I built my first house. And since then, even when I was working, I built houses to rent. I had a house in London, etc., etc. So my idea was in real estate, but it was not to build a shopping mall. It was when I came and I realized that there was no shopping mall in Accra. 5 million population, I felt Accra needed a shopping mall. So I didn't think initially, I thought I was going to build estates. But when I came and I looked at the market and I saw, and that is very important, you should not always copy. Always find something which is not there. You know, the problem I see with us is, oh, this one has done this, is working, so I want to do it. No. You go to an area and you look, what is missing in this area? And then you bring it. But don't say, oh, this one has done this, it's working, so I want to do it. That, you must think out of the box. You must bring something which is not there. Like this young man who started this laundry. You'll be shocked if you go there, he has a fleet of cars now. Wow. And when he started, he didn't have anything. Now he has built a whole house where he's doing this work.
Whole stuff.
But nobody was thinking that you go and collect the laundry and send it back. They opened their laundries and they wanted you to bring your things to them. So you must think outside the box. What can I add to make what I want to do more competitive and better than what it is there?
Amazing. Start small. Yes, please.
My name is Zoe Ifiasewa Odei.
Okay.
And my question is, I want to know how you combined your work and with other things, let me say marriage, because I believe you can't serve 2 masters at a time. So I want to know how you were able to combine work with other important things. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, marriage, I think that is very important. And you always have to pray that you get the right partner. Because without the right partner, maybe many of the things I was able to do, I couldn't have done it. So we always have to pray. That one, you just have to pray. You cannot predict. I mean, you see somebody you think is the right person, then you, okay, so you have to pray. But once you devote time to the family, you make sure that you make them happy. Not because you are working, you forget about your family. You all have to work together. It's a partnership. You know, when I came, A&C, we built a wooden shed. I was sitting here. My wife is sitting here. Why are we called A&C? A&C is me, Andrew. C is my wife, Cecilia. A&C.
Amazing. Wonderful. Yes, so he chose to make it a husband and wife thing, not Andrew and Sons, or something that's very related. But anyway, yes.
My name is Michael Odinota, and then I would like to know, with the current challenges with other malls coming into the system, what makes A&C Mall stand out, like from other malls like Accra Mall, West Hills Malls, and others?
Okay. You know, when A&C came, the other malls have not come. Then Accra Mall came, very close to A&C, bigger, white people. Everybody moved to Accra Mall. You come to A&C parking, nobody. So I said, okay, I'm not going to compete with Accra Mall, but I want to find a way to diversify. So what I did is I decided to create what you call, Accra Mall is just a mall, in retail.
Right.
I decided to have offices, fitness center, different things, so that when you are in East Legon, it will become the hub of the community. If you are in East Legon, you want to go to the restaurant, you come to the food court. If you want to exercise in the morning, you come there. The playground for the children is there. You want to see a doctor, is there. Pharmacy is there. So I changed the system, and I made A&C more than just a retail mall. I made it into a community hub with different activities. Even in A&C, we now have a university, Lancaster University.
Absolutely. Yep. Let me just add that if you want to buy ice cream too, you'll find one there. Yes. Okay, the lady. Right.
My name is Felicia Duro. Even though you had the focus and the ambition to start up the shopping mall, was there a point after maybe going to the bank and you didn't get the support from the bank, was there a point you got discouraged that maybe your dream was too big or something?
Thank you.
Yes, it is true. There was a point I was getting discouraged. But I must say, it's rather my wife who said, look, we can make it.
Amazing.
So it's rather my wife who
put your hands together. At that point, you hear the lady say, wow. That's the only time when. But so you need to get the right people around you. I think that's the most important thing, to encourage you when you feel down. Yes. Please. I need questions from here. Right.
My name is Linda. I want to ask, is it important to have a working experience before starting a business?
Thank you.
It depends on the type of business you want to start. There are certain businesses that you cannot have any working experience unless you go into it, because the fact that you get a job in an office cannot, for example, help you if you want to make an ice cream factory. It has no relationship.
Yes.
So if you really know where you are going and you are planned for it, you can go directly in. But if it also happens that when you finish school, you get a job, yes, you take it, but you know at the back of your mind that as time goes on, I want to do this. So don't close any door. Any door which opens for you, enter it. But what you may be doing, and sometimes when you are working, it will help you to shape your vision. You may think, I want to do this, but once you start working and you see other opportunities, it may shape your vision. So you can go in without working, and you can work before you go in. It does not really matter.
Okay, yeah, having heard from this gentleman, please. Thank you.
Yeah, hello. My name is Isaac, and I want to, first of all, know, for entrepreneurs, of course, we know that there are risks of entering into businesses, and when you are done, you then reap the profits. So did you have any risks behind your mind that you were going to encounter, and were you anticipating profits at the end of the day? That is one. And then the second question is, why is it that in this our age now, it's so difficult for banks to assist starters with even a low, loan, even though we know that the interest rates are quite high. If somebody is willing to, take that,
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. In any business you do, there are risks. So when you go into a business, you cannot go in thinking that everything will be rosy. But if you do your homework well, you can know that even though there are risks, you have looked at the risk and you think you'll be able to manage. But please don't go into business that you want to make money. No. Go into something that you believe in. Money is a byproduct of success. Don't go for money. Money is a byproduct of success.
Now, last question, please.
Yeah. The name is Samuel. I wanted to ask, what keeps you awake?
Samuel, please speak into the microphone.
Yeah, what keeps you awake at night? Is it the fact that you know that, okay, there are opportunities that I can encounter in this business, or the fact that you are worried that something might happen tomorrow? Like, what keeps you awake at night?
Thank you.
What do you mean by the risk?
I think the fear of the unknown.
Okay, the fear of the unknown, if you are afraid of the fear of the unknown, go and get a job and be paid. But if you want to go into business, most businesses, there's this guy called Elon Musk. This guy went to the United States. He was from South Africa. He developed PayPal. He got $300 million. What did he do? He invested all the $300 million in trying to send a rocket into space and also build the Tesla car. There was a point that if the fourth try has failed, you will have lost everything. He did it. He succeeded. He's one of the top billionaires in America today.
Fantastic.
He's the only individual who has been able to build a rocket. And the rocket he has built, when it goes, it comes back, he can reuse it. It has never happened before. Now he's one of the top billionaires in America. He almost failed. So in business, sometimes you fail and you start and you fail and you start until you succeed. So don't think the first time you go in, you succeed. Sometimes you fail, but if you know what you are doing, you go ahead, and by His grace, you will make it.
Fantastic. These are amazing words to end with. Mr. Asoma, let's all sum it up. Your last words to these wonderful ideas and the people who are watching, millions of people who are watching us on air and online as well.
No, the only thing I can say is whatever you do in life, you have to have certain guiding principles. And these guiding principles, one of honesty. You have to be very honest. You have to be reliable. You have to have the fear of God. And you have to know where you want to go. By His grace, you will reach there. But be truthful in your dealings. As a businessman, if you are not truthful, you can cheat people, but after some time, everybody will get to know you. But when they know you are all the people I started working with, all the suppliers, from the first day, I'm still using the same people. Because if I have problems, I will let you know. I will not lie to you. And when I have the money, I will pay. Honesty for me is the key to success. And the fear of God. Don't do unto others what you don't want to be done to you.
Amazing. Please, a round of applause for our captain for the month of March, Mr. Andrew Kwabena Samoa. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
The founder and executive chairman of A&C Development Company Limited, owners of A&C Mall and many more. Let me just say that he was also one of the major brains behind the single spine pay policy that we have now as a country. But that's a conversation we'll have on another day. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, amazing audience you have been, Methodist University College, Ghana students. Thank you so much. And for those of you who watched us on television and online as well, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Alfred Okanse. On behalf of the rest of the team, on Time of the Captains, make a date with us next month for our next captain. Do have a good evening.
Thank you very much.